Hello, my friends. Welcome back. I am Kaushal Kumar. As you already know about me, I have more than 16 years of experience in the software development where I delivered various projects, mid-scale and large-scale projects, and those are enabled with AI solutions. Today, I have very interesting topic for you. It's classification. So, if you are new to this channel, I will recommend please go back to roadmap and the playlist. I already created several playlists which will support to you in your understanding and the implementation of machine learning with .NET and C Sharp. If you are directly moving this classification topic, it might be possible you have some confusions. So to avoid confusion, I would recommend and I would suggest please go to roadmap. First, start with basics of machine learning, fundamental of machine learning, then use regression because I already did a lot of practical session recorded for the regressions. Once you build your knowledge, then we you can move with the classification. So today guys, I will discuss with you about the classification. Classification is a machine learning type. This is supported by very well supported by ml.net, but first you need to understand why we use this and what is the benefit of using classification. You can see in the picture I created a one picture where I try to explain you the industry problem which we cannot achieve through regression, which you already practice in the last various sessions. So today I will talk more in depth about classification. Broadly, it's divided into three categories: binary classification, multi-class classification, and then multi-label classification. Don't be confused. I will be explain in depth one by one. First, let's try to understand what is classification, why we use it. So the classification is means solving a problem, means depicting a category. Like you have a problem and you as in a screen you can see here in the screen we have binary classification, multi classification and multi label classification. Try to understand, we have some data and the help from the machine learning you want to detect. For example, you are in the hospital industry, and in the hospital industry there are several patients. Yeah, patients are there and you have patient. Now you want to take support from machine learning algorithm and you want to decide whether the patient have particular disease or not. For example, we have a data of cancer patients and then the new patient comes to you, and based on the program, based on the patient's symptoms, if you wanted to know whether this patient have cancer or not, then we go with binary classification. Binary classification is pretty simple. It's give us yes and no, true or false kind of authority, whether you hire a particular person or not, whether you buy or not. This is the binary classification. In many industries you can use the binary classification, and it's used in many industries of binary classification. It will give you the decision making authority. You can decide, let's say, if my email is it spam email or not spam email. In the banking industry, the transactions happen on the regular time, regular basis, so the model will detect is this fraud transaction or not fraud transaction based on your purchase behavior or based on your transaction behavior. So your model can decide it. So this is another higher level, the binary classification, where you want to decide whether yes or no, or you want to categorize it. Now we have another types of classification is called multi-class classification. So the multi-class classification will not sufficient to solve the problem whether you have disease or you don't have a disease. Now we want more details. Let's say we want the bugs. For example, as you are a software developer, for you it's easy to understand, whether you like to understand the bug detected by testing team, and you wanted to put the class, which class this bugs belongs to. Is it UI bug, backend bug, or DevOps bug? That you can depict through multi-class classification. So if you have this kind of problem, you may go with multi-class classification. Here in the multi-class classification, you can also decide the priority of your bugs, whether it's a high priority, low priority, medium priority. It's based on your data. Then we have another type of classification, is called multi-label classification. So here you can see the multi-label classification, where you adding a label on your data. For the label could be multi-labels. So let's say you have a data and you wanted to add the labels. It's quite simple. The tagging, as the tags you are applied, as simple, it's a multi-level classification. So you are adding more tags. Let's say I'm adding a tag. If I have a bug, then I will say, hey, it belongs to security, it's a high threat, it could be API as well, it could be UX as well. It's up to you. But the multi-label classification, at now today, you can understand it's a higher level. Just like a tagging, you adding a tags in a social media, you are adding a tags. But if this is decided by model, or this is decided by classification model, then what kind of classification you will choose? In that way, you will go with the multi-level classification. Don't be confused. It's not only theoretical part. Going forward, I will record many sessions on each classification type, and we do a lot of practical, because I am on the mission. I want to grow you in your career, and you would be advanced and you would be at expert level in the machine learning and artificial intelligence. So today, keeping this video short, what I am going to explain you further, I will explain today the more detailing about binary classification. So you can see the binary classification, fraud detection in the banking and financing. If you are developing a product project and you want to take support from the model based on the transactions and based on the customer behavior, you wanted to detect whether this transaction is fraud or not fraud, you can use binary classification. Predictive maintenance of the machine, that will gives you the early signals whether your machine going to be fail very soon or not. Is this required maintenance or not required maintenance? This is best fit for the manufacturing industry. If you are working in the e-commerce industry and you want to retain customer landed on your web portal, and you want whether customer buy or not buy based on his or her behavior, we can use binary classification. Employee attrition for the HR department. If HR in a company wanted to know, based on the employee behavior, what could be my attrition rate, whether this employee leave the company or not leave the company. So that problem will be solved by binary classification. This is prediction that we discussed already. I discussed in the early. It will based on the patient behavior, patient parameters. It will decide whether you have disease or not. It's always machine learning algorithm will not give you the 100% accuracy. Human involvement always required, but this gives us the probability. I hope every one of you know about the probability. So machine learning algorithm gives us the probability ratio. What is the ratio? The output which gives by machine learning algorithm, what is the probability? And then institution detection, that would be detected whether you allow users. So there could be n numbers of industry use cases. Maybe I'm happy to, from your side, you can give us more ideas where you can use the binary classification. So stay tuned, let's continue your learnings, and I hope you can definitely build a stronger machine learning model. Yeah. So now we will start building classification model in ML.NET. See you in the next session. Thank you very much.